Hello everybody, I'm Dutch, and when it comes to tent stakes, there's a lot of things to consider. There is how much they're going to weigh, there's how strong they are, what type of soil, and what you're going to be holding down. A small Cuban fiber tarp is not going to be the same as some big tarp, or maybe maybe you're trying to hold a stand-up, a one-sided stand. You want to have a lot of holding power. So we offer a lot of different types of stakes, and I'd like to go through them now. This is your typical Y stake, and these come in. They are 7 inches long. They have a lot of holding power. They will bend if you pound on them. I usually don't pound any stakes in. The most I do is I push them in with my foot. They are the same thickness all the way across. And this comes in at 12.7 grams. It is a very inexpensive stake. So when you bend them, it doesn't break your heart. This is a spiral stake. It's much like this, except you'll see that the flanges, they taper and they're thinner. This has an incredible amount of holding power. And when it goes in, it actually screws into the ground. And if you have like really hard sod, this will really hold well. This can take quite a bit of pounding, and this is a 10-inch long stake. They weigh 36 grams a piece. So it is not an ultralight stake by any means. However, this one is. Next up is the titanium hook stake. We are one of the only titanium tent stake manufacturers in America, and what we do on ours is we put a very shallow bend here. This will hold any size rope, but our goal here is that when you go to pound this thing in, that all the force is going on to pushing this thing in, and not some big hook that is going to bend. So we put a real nice sharp point on there, and the idea with this is great for ultralight and rocky soil. You go and you put it in, and you kind of feel your way in between those rocks. If you don't hit it the first time, you might have to go to a different spot. But it would not work very well in a very loose soil. They are extremely light. This is a 6.5-inch stake, and it only weighs 6.6 grams. It is my lightest stake. This is the Burly version of the hook stake. And again, you see a very shallow bend back on the neck of it. And it is almost twice the diameter of this. This is going to come in at 11.3 grams. It is 8.5 inches long, so you see it's going to be quite a bit longer, and it is quite a bit stronger. It is very difficult to bend this. I probably could if I really gave it an effort, but you have to put some effort into that. This is a new one for me. This is the Dac. They call them J-Stakes. I like to call them V-Stakes because they're a V. But if you look on the back side here, you see that they taper out to being thin on the edge, but in the middle it is extremely thick. This stake, it is made out of really high-grade aluminum. They are very strong. I have never bent one of these. And they, I don't think I can bend this thing. It is extremely strong. It's coming in for a 6-inch stake. It is only about 11 grams, which is pretty light. You get really good holding power. I would say you get the same amount of holding power as a Y stake with the surface area, because the back flange of a Y stake really isn't holding that much, and that's all this is missing. But it puts the aluminum in the center, down this rib, giving it all of its strength. I really like these stakes. Another good piece of these stakes is they stack together really nicely. You can't do anything to stack a Y stake, they just don't. But these, you can see that you can stack them together so they take up less room in your pack. So this is an 8-inch version of the J-Stake, also made by Dac, and it has that same profile where it's thick on the back. This would be for very loose soil. This is very long, and of course it's very strong. So carbon fiber stakes, I have really been happy with the performance of these stakes. They are extremely light, they don't splinter, and we have actually hammered these things into hot asphalt. They didn't go through the hot asphalt, but they will make quite a bit of dent, and they will not go and splinter on the very ends, which is what you worry about. They are meant to just push in by hand, and I think if you hammered on them, you would probably break the neck of it or something. But as long as you're pushing these on by hand, they are extremely strong. Carbon fiber being very strong for its weight. So this is coming in. It's pretty long. It's 7.5 inches long. Has a nice big head on here that you can either tie off or you can just wrap around. And they are for semi-loose soil because they are thicker than, say, you're going to get more holding power than a titanium hook stake. So if the soil is really loose, the Burly version of this comes in, it's 7 inches long, and it weighs 15.5 grams, which is, this is a lot of stake for just 15 grams. And I really like the holding power of those. If I knew that I didn't have, if I had even sand, I was going out west and I had sand, I would be very happy with this, or turf would be really good. This is the Vargo. Actually, all three of these are Vargo stakes. They're titanium. I am very pleased to be able to offer Vargo's products. They are an American and actually a Pennsylvania company. So I am very happy to partner with them. This is their Ascent stake, and this is 6.5 inches long and weighs 11.6 grams each. Again, you're going to get a lot of holding power with this. You don't want to hammer on this because these will bend if you bend them too much, and it's kind of sad because they're really nice stakes. You can stack these together so they stack up nice inside your stake bag and don't take up a lot of room in your pack. And then they have the nail stake. The nail stake is 6 inches long and it weighs 9 grams each. It is going to be a little bit thicker than the hook stake. Here you're either tying off onto this head that's on here, or you're tying off onto this rope, which happens to have some reflective in it, which is nice because you can just shine it on there, your headlamp on there, and see where your tie outs are. And then Vargo also has a peg stake, which is even thicker, stronger. I think you could put these things through rocks if you wanted to. This thing is going to come in at 6.5 inches long, and it weighs only 15 grams each. And believe me, that is a very beefy stake. I've never seen one of those bent. And then the last stake doesn't even look like a stake, and this is a sand or snow anchor. You can tie off to both these holes, or you can just come up higher, depending on your circumstances. But they're meant to be something that is extremely loose. You're going to push them down into the sand, or you're going to go and put them down into the snow. So this is 3 inches wide by 5 inches at its longest point, and these are weighing just under an ounce, about 27 grams each. Again, these are going to stack really nice. So for whatever your stake needs are, I'm sure you'll be able to find something that'll be able to suit those needs. Thank you, everybody.